make these payments to him, and that doesn't happen and can't happen. So if the minority was raising such issues, they may be aware of something that he's not aware of. But
it is only fair, quickly, it's only fair to extend it. He says, you don't need presidential approval to pay judgment debts.
Yes, of course.
So why do you get presidential interference to stop judgment debts?
Because at that state, the matter has not gone to court at the time he stopped it. When the first payment, it was a settlement. You are not getting the chronology of things.
I'm coming there again.
It wasn't a judgment debt at the time.
At the time he stopped it, it wasn't
really?
a judgment debt.
Eurocode report. It says again here, subsequently, AG wrote to Minister of Finance informing him that blah, 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 Woyome has gone to court, okay? At this stage, Ministry of Finance negotiated payment terms after the court. Again, before Ministry of Finance could pay first installment, okay, His Excellency President ordered Attorney General to...
That is after...
I'm saying so that even page 12 is inconsistent. Let us be fair to Ghanaians.
Listen,
nobody interrupted you.
Anyway, let him talk.
The earlier agreed settlement,
it's just you didn't tell the full story,
which was initiated by Nikwe,
when you have
was
the time,
quite
you can
clear
tell
that
us.
they agreed to a figure which was about 40-something million Ghana cedi to be paid, upon which orders and preparations were being done for payment, at which stage the president stopped. Okay. Then the matter went to court. When it went to court, settlement agreement became 17, 17, 17. Before the first tranche of payment will be effected, the president ordered his attorney general to go stay execution. That is what you are reading. So at the first stage of stop it, it had not gone to court. When it went to court...
It had not been contested in court, or it had not gone to court?
It's not been contested in court.
It's not been contested.
It's not been
page 11 is different from page 12.
Thank you, Mike.
But don't change it.
No.
I'm not changing
Please,
it. I'm not changing it. Let me just finish. There are other persons who have raised all these hula balloons about whether Iyoko looking into it was necessary and that the best platform is Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament have always looked at Auditor General's reports. The Iyoko was not contesting or looking into the Auditor General's report. The Iyoko was ordered by the president to do an assignment for him. Iyoko, a citizen of this country, Achina Brentu, also wrote to Iyoko asking them to investigate specifically criminal aspects to do with award of contracts for the building of the 4 stadia for CAN 2000.
Who is Achina Brentu?
At the time, he said he was speaking on behalf of Mr. Williams.
Communications member of the presidency.
He's a Ghanaian. He's a Ghanaian. Whether he's a Ghanaian face.
Who is Sir John?
He's a Ghanaian face.
Didn't he collect a car?
He's a Ghanaian face. So let's look at him as
mention
a Ghanaian.
case.
Gentlemen, please. Kofi has the floor. When he finishes, I'll come to you.
Tell us the case.
Iyoko's case goes beyond.
But is it not the same case that Alfred Woyome, just before the release of this Iyoko report, then went to court to restrain Iyoko from investigating, because in his estimation, Iyoko had strayed beyond what he thought was the mandate of the investigation?
He wasn't the one who determined the mandate of, because he didn't order Iyoko to do any investigation. So you cannot determine the mandate of, but he's a citizen and entitled to those rights. That if he feels that the investigation will infringe on his right as a citizen, where you go to contest is the courts, and he has so exercised that right. We'll wait to see what will come out of that right he's exercising in court. Okay. But Iyoko feels that they have a mandate, they have been ordered to do something, and they have done it, and have gone beyond. That is why if you see the report, it's interim. Because they are not just going to look at the payments that came out of the stadium renovation project. No, there are many other payments that would have to be looked into, and whether the beneficiaries got it or they were entitled to it, and how and why it came about. Okay. These are very important, but I feel strongly that there are many persons, especially the civil servants, and one thing has come out clear in these investigations, that many a times we nail the politician because they go seeking for votes every time. And we, the politicians, have not even held matters. If you look at how my brothers from the MPP have even handled this matter, it's as if the civil servants is not important. We shouldn't even look at them.
But doesn't the ultimate responsibility lie with the head? Who is the ministerial appointee?
We have always talked about ultimate responsibility, and abandon a lot of the people who will always stay with these politicians forever. Some of them were there under President Rawlings, they were there under President Kufuor, and they are there today causing the same hemorrhage to our economy, and we think that we should leave them.
No, I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying that shouldn't the people who give them instructions or directives that they follow also take care to make sure that they're following the instructions? If you work in the private sector and you gave somebody an assignment and you are the head of that unit, it doesn't matter what the person does. Even though the person will be held responsible, ultimately you also bear responsibility.
I agree with that ultimate responsibility. We've done ultimate responsibility for a very long time. That even today, as we discuss this Yoko report, there are some who are even suggesting that they want to blame the president. The number ones, as if he should run around and be the Attorney General, be the Finance Minister, head the legal unit of the... And I want to even suggest, Matilda, if it is possible, the legal departments of various ministries should not behave as if they are autonomous. They should all be put under the Attorney General's department. If the Attorney General wants to post them to the various ministries, he or she can do so that legal opinions on matters such as this can be handled under, because we are beginning to realize that a paper written by the Director Legal, Ministry of Finance, misled a lot of persons. Paul Asimi misled a lot of persons into taking some actions that otherwise, if he had done something different, maybe this action that was taken would not have been taken. So
thank you.
I think as part of our reforms, we should begin to look at what we will do to the legal departments of various ministries.
Okay, I wanted to hear Kuku on this. Kuku?
Yeah.
Behave.
I'm not sure. You were quoting from the report. Did the ECHO report, which page? The first page?
The first one was, when he stopped, it was page 11. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean the payments,
that's page 15.
The trajectory.
Page 15.
Yeah, here.
First payment, February 2010. That's what it was.
No.
Yes.
That's what the Yoko report says, but it's also inconsistent with the Auditor General's report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's something wrong, and also we release letters for the, you see, release of funds for settlement. All the release letters, I have copies here. The first release is the 17 was is dated 22nd September 2010. Please refer to two letters reference number so and so dated 15 September 2010 from the Ministry of Justice so and so. You are hereby authorized to release the sum of 17 million something something.
Before that letter, they have already paid the money.
No. I want to proceed with documentation available.
Sure.
Whatever it is, what is here contradicts what is here and also contradicts what the Auditor General said, because the Auditor General spoke about April 6th.
Which was the first
one, which he said did not take place. So you see, these things do not help anybody. This kind of a picture of confusion or inconsistency. Sometimes maybe typo, but these things, you should be vigilant, very diligent to try and make sure you get the figures right. Otherwise, it can destroy the integrity of the work you are doing. So that's the first problem I have, but that was not essentially the point I was going to make. I'm entitled to proceed
yes, please.
The way I wish to, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll try.
Yes.
And direct, so because there are a few other things that we'll have to address in relation to this,
yes,
so we don't miss out on
you see, because of how our two friends...
They've gone haywire.
Yeah, every issue has been brought on board,
yes.
So one is a bit under pressure where to begin from. But you see, for me, the Yoko report, which was presented to the president just 2 days ago, with the exception of the disclosure about $400,000 having been paid to the wife of the chief state, Ghana cedis, to the wife of the chief state attorney, and the reference to the president's attempt on 2 occasions on the matter. There's nothing else in that report that had already not been in the public domain.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing else. Everything else, we had interrogated them on this very program. Almost everything. In fact, it's as if it's a re-narration of what media commentators, newspapers, radio stations, legal practitioners have had to say in the last 2 months. Nothing absolutely new, with the exception of these 2. Not even the Paul Asimenu thing was new. We had said so. We had interrogated it. We had made all those cases. It's significant that we have been told that the Chief State Attorney's wife was a recipient of 400,000 Ghana cedis. That's significant. It doesn't give us much yet. We are not told whether the wife was called and interrogated as to how Admisi Woyome gave her that kind of money. 2011 June, somewhere around. It's around the time too some of the monies were being paid. We are not told. We are not told if the husband too was called to ask any questions. It's not in this report. So there's a certain gray area in the report, but it's still significant. Then the president's thing, to be honest with you, I think was unwarranted. I'm asking questions. The evidence in the point that have been made here about the president, yeah. Who told them? Was it verbal? Was it documentary? Those witnesses who appeared before them from the government side told them? Did they establish it with any documentary evidence that the president ordered through a paper or verbally? Who told them? How did they get to know? Was it the president himself who indicated that to them? We are not told the president is one of those they invited. So, you see, I thought...
Well, why is that important?
Oh, you see, first of all, it has implications. But before we interrogate the implications, we must know it to be factual and sustainable. And if a president orders ministers not to do something, I expect that it to be written. Even if there was a verbal complement of it, I expect that in terms of good governance practice, there's a documentary indicator of the fact that you are not supposed to do this. I'm saying so because of what has happened subsequent to those 2 purported presidential interventions. Yeah, well, I'm choosing my words carefully. I am choosing my, because I've raised issues already.
You're casting doubt on
Please, would you stop this? It's allowed, but please, don't let it be persistent.
Don't get hot under the collar, Kweku.
I am not. You have come back.
I'm only exposing your flaws.
And when it comes to your turn, you have plenty of time to do that. Thank you. Please, go on.
I have come here today wanting to be a very cool-headed participant.
You don't waste your own time. Just go on.
Wow.
It's a trick.
He has fallen for it already. So.
Why I used the word purported was because my preliminary remarks suggest that I'm asking questions. So I need to find out. Your thing has fallen. I need to find out.
Okay.
Because
if we can get the technician, you know, but can we still hear him?
Can I be heard?
We can still hear you, so proceed.
So you need to ask those questions. But that's another side. Because see, if you look at the trend, if the president had ordered that payment should not be effected, then obviously the president had a brief on the Woyome matter. Yeah. So it is not just a question of whether he ordered payment or not. For me, I don't even see who made that categorical statement for the president to have been reacting to it. The question was whether he was aware of the Woyome issue and the implications of that issue. For me, what the Yoko boss has told us is clear that the president was aware. Look, you think a whole president will order that don't pay, and he didn't have a brief on the issue? Don't pay means that he was aware that that payment will not be credible payment or cannot be defended. So he ordered that don't pay. So the question of a brief is clear. Now, when he said, he also asked the AG to go and stop it in court by stay of execution. It means, and he's a professor of law. What it means